the question when I want to be dramatic about it. So like, does Bernie Sanders want to lead a movement, right, to bring about change in the country, or does he want to be president of the United States? And I think that his political skill will determine that. I want to know what a turn. I thought that Bernie would wait until he had a big day on Super Tuesday, and then if he wants to, turn to the center, the way every candidate has done. And I'm super curious about what a turn to the center for Bernie Sanders means. It's not going to be what it is for most people. And does he want to do it? Is he capable of doing it? And will he do it, right? Those are all questions that we're going to find out. That is one way that Bernie offsets that, because real quick, the thing that he has to get past is the number of people afraid of him, right? I mean, fear, we know what fear does, and they are afraid of what he does means, whether it's because they think he's going to protect their money or kill their ability to be consultants or whatever. But my friends who don't care if their taxes are raised at all, and I mean a big group, I'm counting all these friends, they think that Bernie is going to shake the foundation of American culture, and that scares them. So he needs to somehow say, hey, look man, it's gonna be okay. This is good, and you're gonna be fine. We're all gonna be fine, and I'm curious how he does it.
How? Yeah, you don't know how to do it, but then to make that type of move without it looking like what Elizabeth Warren was looking like to many progressives. So you have your base, and you don't want to also shake up your base at the same time while trying to appeal to a voter bloc that maybe isn't already
He has
there.
something Elizabeth Warren doesn't have, which is this enormous credibility and a dedication to the base. So I don't think they'll leave him. I just don't, because he's still got 30 years of a track record, and he's been a.
So look, guys, here's the thing. I'll try to answer Jayar's question. I don't think you have to move on any of your policies at all. So on the other hand, to Ben's point, you have to comfort people, right? Enough in the middle of the Democratic Party to get to a victory. I don't think it takes much at all, okay? Look at how it looks like he's gonna win big in California. And he didn't move at all, he didn't move an inch. And he didn't even move rhetorically an inch. So what do I mean by moving rhetorically? I don't mean softening anything about Medicare for all or any of that stuff, because Jayar's right. Anytime Warren did that, Buttigieg did that, you name it, it destroyed their candidacy, right? Kamala Harris, another great example, Jayar, that's right. What I mean is, he's got to get better at this. So
we're saying the exact same thing. I'm not saying change your policy either.
Yeah. So look, we've now had approximately 1.5 million debates, and he's never said, guys, when they say it's going to take away your private insurance, you've got to understand it replaces it with better insurance. You can go to any doctor, you can go to any hospital or provider, and we're going to pay less. And if he said this one thing that I say all the time, I actually think it would make a giant difference. It's true that the top 5% would pay a little bit more, because we all pay $12,000 into healthcare. We're taking that away for everybody, but their taxes would go up more than $12,000. But for 95% of us, we pay way less, and we're guaranteed coverage from any doctor. You don't have to worry if they're in your network or not. You don't have to worry about a copay, premium, or deductible. Just that calm way of explaining Medicare for all. What did I do it in about 30, 45 seconds? I know when I talk to people, they go, oh, I didn't know they were replacing it with better insurance. For God's sake, Bernie, say it. They've asked you 1,000,000 times, say it.
That's what the skill that I think Ben was referencing, and I asked, what does that skill mean? To be a politician, to be able to explain it in a different way that allows it to stick, because this is the hard thing, and this is usually the discussion that's happening between Democrats and Republicans, is Republicans, especially under this Republican that's in the White House right now, is there's 1 to 2 words or a phrase that means the world to them. Democratic Socialists, aren't you afraid? Venezuela. So then those words stick because it's easier. Our brains don't have to work very hard to get those things to stick. And you have to explain something and then explain it, then explain it, then explain it, and explain it. People start tuning out because that's just who we are. And it's easier after he explains it, even if it's 35 seconds. And then the response goes, but how are you gonna pay for it? And we go, oh, he just told you so many times. And then they ask the question as if it wasn't answered.
And flip the frame, he's begun to do this a tiny bit. Again, when I talk to real people, and I say, when they say how we're gonna pay for it, Iraq and Afghanistan cost us $6.4 trillion. How are we gonna pay for that? If we didn't do that, we'd have so much money for Medicare for all, free college, et cetera. But put that aside, look, if you just reverse the Trump tax cuts, you could pay for erasing all of student debt, free college, and you'd have $400 billion left over. Every person I tell that to goes, whoa, no, really? Wow.
What they kept hearing was giveaway, 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 and you have to say it more than just one word.
The only thing I disagree with you on, and I mean, I think people should say and say often, and that you always get a response with it, is about the military spending, right? But that is not an answer for how are you going to pay for Medicare for all. In fact, I think it's a terrible answer.
No. I'm just giving general points here.
I got you.
Okay?
So
for Medicare for all, it costs less. And then while Bernie is doing that softer touch, if you will, he needs more Nina Turners on TV shaming the media. Because the reality is Ben and everyone else who is in a sense rooting for him is asking him, because it's just reality, to climb an incredibly tough hill. He has to get past all of the national media. The national media will not tell you that you get better insurance. They've never said it, they'll never say it. I don't know if they even know it. When I told Cuomo on CNN, he seemed genuinely surprised, like he'd never heard of that.
It's crazy because everybody's got parents. I mean, my mom, she got Medicare, right?
Yeah.
It was great.
And Medicare for all gives more coverage than Medicare,
right? There's more coverage. You don't need supplemental insurance.
That's right, and now it costs less. So I would then have, so you got Bernie being, soft, et cetera, good rhetoric, but gives people comfort. Then get Nina's, et cetera, of the world to go, guys, if you say one more time that Medicare for all costs more than this current system, we're gonna start calling you liars. Because you're lying on purpose. Here's the Lancet study. It says it costs $458 billion less per year. So if you definitively say, even if how are you gonna pay for it as if it costs more, at a bare minimum, it's a question mark. Because we have a Yale study that got published at one of the most prestigious health magazines, journals. And not only that, we also have the Koch brothers study that says it saves $2 trillion. So why are you saying the opposite? And you gotta push back on the media. If you push back hard enough on the media, they do actually feel it. First they get offended, deeply, deeply offended. I'm allowed to lie about you, you're not allowed to say anything about me. And then they start to get defensive, they counterattack, but eventually it starts to sink in. Even the New York Times and even Politico wrote an article, now this was actually many months ago, do we have a centrist bias? Like it occurred to them for the first time in their lives. That means we're winning, that for the first time they're acknowledging, oh, maybe we are framing everything a little bit differently than we thought we were. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, Jayar. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.